Hello, let's try processing an image in narrowband, a new one today. I'm going to open up one of my hydrogen images. This actually came from, what was it, about 2 hours worth of capturing just in hydrogen alpha. It looks like nothing, but if I stretch it, which is really just pulling all you can out of the information, you can see some stuff going on there. And we need to now make sure we align this image with the two other narrowband wavelengths that I was shooting at. So I select this hydrogen one that I just was loading up here. And I want to take my other two files that are going to be important, and I want from a separate night an oxygen, and from a separate night some sulfur, oxygen 3 and sulfur 2. And really, I was shooting across 4 different nights. I kept running into little issues here and there. I ended up shooting across 4 different nights to get this, and I'm combining these images. So my alignment was a little bit different. We had different dithering, which is what it's called for when these were getting lined up. So I want to now open up the aligned versions of these, which are going to be these two. And while I have previously tried combining these shots, I haven't done it with my latest information. So here is the sulfur, here is the oxygen, here is the hydrogen. I now need to combine these together and see what we can get. So I'm just going to pop it into this channel combine, and the typical Hubble palette puts sulfur in for red, it puts hydrogen in for green, and it puts oxygen in for blue. So I'm going to tell it that's what we want to do. And it'll populate, make this image for me, and then we'll keep on moving forward with this process. I can actually get rid of these other guys. Let's just make them small for right now. And this is what I'm going to be moving forward with here. So let's see. This looks like nothing, but let's make it look like something. Whoa, bam. Okay, now we got something to begin to work with. But these weren't the exact same framing when I went into them, so I do need to do a little bit of a crop to get them so they're all sharing the same information. So I'll pull this up like that and pull this a little bit over and pull this one over, just so that we have a similar amount of information across all the images. Pull that a tiny bit down. I think I'm going to be pretty happy with that. And we'll go ahead and do one more piece here before we really get into it. This is called the Jellyfish Nebula. So let's actually make it so it looks more jellyfishy, and geometry rotated 180 degrees. There we go. That's what we're actually thinking about with this one. There's your jellyfish up top there. So next up in our list of things to do is a little bit of dynamic background extraction. And I'm not going to go into all the specifics of what's happening here, but basically we're going to be removing some of the noise. As far as the reason for the numbers and parameters I'm putting in at this, honestly, I watched some tutorials, and this is just some other people's recommended how we go about this. And it's got all these X's across my image right now, which are kind of the regions it wants to be sampling from. And I really don't want those in the most exciting nebula regions. So I'm now going around and deleting some of them, moving some around, trying to not have it sticking on the exciting parts of the nebula. It can be on little bits here or there, but yeah, I'm really trying to remove a lot of the extraction that might occur on the nebula itself. I'll let it pull out from other areas. And this is probably an area where I could still improve my processing, or maybe significantly improve my processing. But for right now, while I'm still learning, I'm going to be pretty satisfied in just a minute here. I try not to let them be on any super bright stars, any super wispy parts, or areas of too much interest. But what it sounds like from those that I've looked at before that have helped me along the way, it's not nearly as picky as some people seem to have thought. So I think I'm about set on that. As long as I go and make sure I have subtraction selected right here, we're going to be looking a whole lot better real soon. And there we have it. Doesn't that look great? No, it doesn't. But if I get rid of this one, all of a sudden, okay, I don't love it that much. I kind of want to go back and maybe try something different. Let's see what happens with the automatic background extraction. as opposed to, or automatic background extractor. See if that gives me a better result. Because I don't love my one that I just did with that. And maybe this is where I'm more noob at this myself. But let's see if I try an automatic background extraction. If I end up liking that result any better. Do I like this one? I think I might. Yeah, I feel like I like what the algorithms did better than what I did. I think I might roll with that one. So both cases, we're just trying to remove a little bit of the extra noise around here. And I'm going to stick with this version of it for right now. So with this one other thing I'm going to try to do, and again, I am a complete noob at so much of this, is I want to get rid of a little bit of the noise, the color noise. So I'm going to go to a region that doesn't have too many stars, zoom in a bit, try to do that. How about up right around here? And I'm going to select a little preview zone right in there. And then I'm going to try to reduce the background here. So background neutralization, and hit that. And that really is going to maybe get rid of a little bit of the extra unwanted color in the back. And by the way, this image is looking awfully green. Even if I, let's see, I'll delete my preview from this. Even if I even it out there, it's not looking like the colors are that great just yet. So we're getting closer and closer with this, but for right now, let's go ahead and duplicate this because I'm about to do something that doesn't always go perfectly along the way. And when I duplicate it, now I want to make the image linear because I keep stretching this image and pulling things out of it that don't seem to be there. I'm going to put the things that don't seem to be there and make them actually there. It's my understanding. So I'm going to do take the auto stretch and put it into the histogram transformation, then apply that, and wow, that's a horribly white image. But then when I undo the previous stuff, this is actually saying the image you see here is the real image. And I believe that's what I needed to do before I can then go in and do this. SCNR is a type of noise reduction, and I honestly don't know everything about that, but I want to duplicate again because I'm doing something that's potentially irreversible, and I want to have an easy way out, and then hit apply to remove the excess green. And now we are getting somewhere. We are getting way closer to where I'm going to want to be with this. So this image right here is pretty close to where I'm going to say, let's move into Lightroom. If I was an absolute pro at this, I would keep moving right where I am right now, but I am not. I am a noob. I do not have major experience here. So I'm going to take this version of this image, which I'm pretty happy with, as a starting point. And I'm going to save it as something that I can use. I will save it as SHO2. SHO, because I had a previous one that I was trying at here, being the sulfur, hydrogen, and oxygen. And then with that piece saved, I will open up Lightroom. So I think I'm ready to open up Lightroom and move forward in Lightroom and import it in from there. So we got a lot of things going on here, but let's let Lightroom open up. I think everything should still be showing up fine on video. So as my Lightroom opens up, what was the last image I was editing? We'll see in a second. And then I will import in the image I was just working on and show you how we get to the final result, which I hope to be sharing pretty soon. Probably will have already shared with by the time that this is going up here. So we are doing good. I was just doing some macro work the other day. That's what this is. But if I import in what I was just working on, it's in my DeepSkyStacker, which is DSS folder. And this is IC443. So this should be the one that we're talking about. Pop it into Lightroom here. Again, if I was a pro, I would probably be doing this in either Photoshop or in actually the program I was just using itself. But immediately, there's a bit of noise in here. So let's pull up some noise reduction. And now, if I go back, did I get the noise reduction in right? Good. Go back up top. Let's adjust some contrast a little. Already, there's great things that we can get out of this. I think I'm going to want my highlights a little down. I want my blacks to go a little bit down, really just emphasize the excitement, emphasize what's going on. Shadows down a bit. Whites are actually going to come slightly up a little. And then I want a little more vibrance. I'm going to want to get rid of some of the purple. So if I go down to saturation, a little unnecessary purple in there, a little unnecessary magenta that I want to pull out of the image just from part of the artifacts of my processing. Ooh, looks like my alignment's not quite perfect there. Huh. Maybe I need to go back again and look at this further. But what else we got going on here? This is looking decent as a starting point. I want to take the main area of excitement, the nebulosity portion, or the nebula throughout here, and let's do a couple tweaks right in just this region. So if I select all of that, then I want to pull up the texture, give it a little bit more texture, give it a little bit, no, not much more clarity. I don't think I want to do too much with that. I think I want to just check how it is for a couple of these, and not really mess with it too much. So only a little bit more texture, something like that. That's about what I'm happy with there. Then what else do I want to do here? I think I need to reduce a little bit of the kind of the noise, the cloudiness around this region. I am a little disappointed if I want to zoom in on some of that red. I may have to figure out how I can reduce that, and the final image I share probably will have less of that. I know this will get rid of part of it right there, but if I then also reduce the noise and lower the blacks, then we're getting somewhere. Lower a bit of the shadows, definitely bring, no, that's a little too much. Let's see, right around like that. Okay, making some progress. Let's also go down into the luminance and let's pop that orange a little. Let's make that orange look a little bit more fun as we go through. And let's go into the hue and even pull the orange a little, yeah, that's fine. A little bit more toward the red. And let's take the blue and really pull it a little more. Can we make the blue more blue? Okay, I'm okay with that for right now. Let's go into the blue saturation or blue luminance and see what we can do with that a little bit. And blue saturation, I don't think I really want to do much there. So making some progress through here, definitely. The combination of the sulfur and the hydrogen is really where we're getting this orange from more than anywhere else. But I think I'm just going to need a little bit more touch up for right now. Let's make this a little smaller and throughout here and a little throughout there. If I want to reduce part of what's going on with that, but just subtly, not too extreme, then I think we're making some progress here. Just seeing how I like this as we go through. I do like it. Let's go back to this and do I want a little more vibrance? I think I do. Do I want a little more saturation? A tiny bit more. I think I may need to pull the blue down, but the blue comes from the oxygen, and I don't mind it. I think I need to go back to the luminance of the orange and check on that. Yeah, that's a little better. Just thinking about it as I do it. I don't think there's any green to really mess around with. Red. Not much there. Put it right down. Look at the hues again. Hue, 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 hue. I think I might be happy with this for right now. This is part of the processing of what it looks like. I'll go ahead and export this, compare it to an earlier attempt I'd done that really was quite different. So I finished this up on March 9th, and this is IC443, aka the Jellyfish Nebula, and I'll call it SHO2, my second try at it. I'll leave it full size, export it, and that's at least an attempt at narrowband imaging, narrowband processing for this nebula. The sulfur and hydrogen are actually in the red. The oxygen is in the blue, and this is the Hubble palette and how they often combine these. But that's it for this. Hope you enjoyed it. Bye.